Good evening, Isabelle. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, Jérôme. Good evening, everyone. I know you're all behind your screens for the seventh conference of the ESG Best Practices Honors. This is a new format and it is taking place much later than usual. More than 600 people have decided to be there once more, and we are very honored by this. It is a very special time for SWEN, for its teams. It's a time to share with you, especially now, this year. And this is why, together with Isabelle, we really wanted to hold this event despite the closure of the Quai Branly Museum and the lockdown. At SWEN, each time there is a difficulty, we think there is an opportunity. So we have really tried to look for a new location in order to welcome you, a location where we could really share our messages. And this is what we're doing today in this private studio, Porte de Versailles, that we are welcoming you. It is a pleasure for us, and obviously we are complying with all the health and sanitary measures. We're going to talk about various things today. And if we look in the back mirror, we'll remember that 7 years ago we did our first ESG BPH conference in order to talk about the best extra-financial practices. And it's also an opportunity for us to thank you for all your feedback during our information collection campaign. And once more this year, you've answered the call despite the current sanitary crisis. Thank you for that, Isabelle. So let's talk about those best practices. What are the first lessons to be learned when it comes to our role as investors? Well, Jérôme, there is only one word for this. We cannot keep doing things as we used to. No, we need to work on biodiversity, circular economy, climate issues. Those are notions that we've been mentioning every year since 2014. And we also have to be actors, stakeholders. We have to take part in those transformations, the way our economic model is being changed, the way our organizations are being changed. And we need to share our values with the common good in mind. But in order to do this, we have to understand that we are part of an ecosystem and everything is intertwined. If men and women are in good health, they need to rely on healthy animals on a healthy planet. This is the notion of One Health. This notion is supported by 3 UN institutions and researchers, including Pascal Pic in France. We also have to understand our development model is being tried. A cycle is coming to an end, and we really have to build a new world that will be more resilient, more solid, and more ambitious also. And we also need to make sure that we all have a long-term vision. We need to support our convictions, and we need to benefit from the support from the regulators. Yes, Jérôme, indeed. In order to address all those challenges, all those issues, we live in a world that is getting more and more complex. And companies have to play a key role. But there are many, many more regulations that are being adopted. And they are going to play a key role, talking about soft laws and hard laws. So the disclosure regulation, the European Green Deal taxonomy, TCFD. Here again, many of the legal documents are going to be adopted. For the first time, regulation is really being so massively involved in ESG issues. And those new regulations are going to transform our economy. They're going to direct investments to specific sustainable stakeholders. We will also have to measure our impact and to explain that impact. And at SWEN, we've decided to use a new measure. It's called NEC, Net Environmental Contribution. This is a new KPI, a new type of measure that goes beyond a pure climate. And it was launched by Sycamore, Qantas and iCare 5 years ago. With those new regulations, our investment practices will have to be more transparent in order to avoid greenwashing. So, Jérôme, we might wonder whether this is what the world would look like tomorrow. In any case, we are faced with a new paradigm with a new type of economy, and the current crisis is speeding things up, and we shouldn't underestimate this. Well, yes, Isabel, this is what we have to expect for the future, and this is the reason why we are having this ESG conference. We need to make people aware of this new paradigm. This evening, we want to talk about our common values. We want to talk about people who are truly convinced about what they're doing. So the topic of this 7th edition is exemplified by the pathways of the entrepreneurs that are going to talk to us today. People who are truly committed, people who've really been looking for the common good, for a meaningful path. And we are going to listen to 3 people who had an extraordinary pathway. And just before we award the prizes, we'll have the great honor to welcome Jean-Louis Etienne, who really is someone who has a strong belief and strong convictions. So, without any further ado, we would like to welcome someone who has really decided to look for a meaningful life, to try and reach a meaningful life, and he's done this during his entire career at a mutual insurance company. And let's welcome Adrien Couret.